Hello, beautiful human. You clicked on our interview with Sabrina Carpenter and Jonas Blue. Dynamic duo, these two. Their song Alien is out now. They bring good energy into the room, and we learned a lot about both of them and their creative process. I can't wait for you to listen to the interview. Okay, leave your honest feedback in the comment section below. We also have a podcast, link in the description below, and please subscribe. Okay, enjoy.
Let's do this.
We got Heather, we got Dan, and we welcome to the studio for the first time Jonas Blue.
Woo!
But returning Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh no!
Here we go.
Oh my gosh!
Love
that was
it.
so scary.
Oh, wow.
What are we
Like
saying?
pan too, because I wasn't expecting that.
I feel like I need to Snapchat this.
Yeah,
this
can
is a
you do it?
moment.
Wow.
It's a DJ special.
This was a pitch from your record label?
I wouldn't be surprised, was it?
Yeah. Oh, dude, he came with the masks.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
You're a nerd.
DJ is a creative producer. DJ is more than a label executive. DJ, how long
Are
do
you
I wear
guys?
this
I
for?
dare you to do the whole interview with that on.
I'm gonna suffocate. So
Oh yeah, a turtleneck and the mask. I mean,
I'll put it backwards.
me speaking, it's like a steam trap in there.
It was warm.
oh wow.
Well, thank you for being here. Alien is a new record.
Yeah, it is.
If you hadn't
There you
guessed,
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't know, tell me about the birth of this record. Who were the lyrics in existence? Was there a beat already in existence, or did it come from a studio session between the two of you?
Yes. Nothing existed
No.
before we got in the room together. So we basically, over a year ago, I tweeted Jonas. I tweeted him that I was listening to his song By Your Side 100,000 times because I was. And I'm not the kind of person to like tweet out to people, but I was really in love with this song, and I was just like, he's done so many other incredible collaborations, and I was a fangirl in that moment, so I did that. And he was incredibly nice, and he slid in my DMs and responded and was like, well, I'm in LA, and we should work together. And that was how easily it happened. That was the first time that we worked together. And then the song actually happened because I was touring with the Vamps in the UK, and I was staying an extra week in London, and he was like, we should write again. And it's really like rare that obviously we hit it off the first time, but it was really nice that we were able to kind of get back together and do something else, because the first time that you work with someone, it's almost like, first of all, I was just scared. Like, I was just nervous. I was like, I'm such a big fan. Like, I just want to create something that I like, but I almost wasn't comfortable enough to like really get comfortable to the point where I was,
I get that.
was writing what I wanted to write and writing what I thought could be really cool for both of us. And so I think then once we got together and we wrote in London, we wrote and recorded it all in one day.
And
Yeah.
you knew him. You knew each other. I mean, by the second time.
by the second time, yeah. It's an interesting one, and people are going to really hate me for this. But when Sabrina messaged me on Twitter initially, I didn't know who she was.
Wow.
If I'm honest, I really didn't know who she was.
It's okay.
And
Wow.
I know her fans are literally just going to be like, "How
okay.
dare you say that?"
No,
but
it's fine.
How
I
dare
didn't know.
you say that, sir?
What was so you do research, obviously. You
I
give her a
didn't-
Google.
I didn't
No, but
know.
Wikipedia is lying. It lies. All of the things on Wikipedia are wrong because anybody can put in whatever information they want on Wikipedia. So I was really scared because, like, I don't like when people are like, yeah, I looked you up on Wikipedia.
No, it didn't. For me, it wasn't like that at first. I went online, listened to her music first. That was the first thing I
Okay.
did. And then after I listened to her music, I saw the following. I was like, why has this girl got such a big following? Like, who is she?
After you listened to the music, so you were like, well, this sucks. Why do people like it?
Not like that.
Not like that.
Sounded like that.
No, but I listened to the music. I heard the voice, and I was just like, wow.
Obviously, he likes me somehow because we're here right now.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have gotten this far.
But honestly, I was just like, this girl's voice is incredible, and I really want to make a song with her. Like,
Okay.
That was purely it. There was no labels. There was no management. It wasn't anything like that. It was literally.
It was organic.
It was organic.
It's pure artist collaboration.
And it was the same with the second time we met. It was just, you were in town and I wanted to write.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Is that what you're looking for? Like, is it hard for you to listen to a record and only focus on the vocals because there's so many other things that that go into like building an actual song? But in this case, like, you don't want to judge the producer of the record. You know,
No.
You're looking to understand Sabrina and get to know her.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it was like, look, I understand she's got a huge following and people expect to hear a certain thing from her, but I want to create something new, and I just kind of want to put my stamp on on her sound, and as well as her, she wants to feel like it can work in my market as well. So it was definitely something amazing. I'm so glad we got the record finally out there.
So Alien is the record.
Yeah.
And when the two of you get together and it's written for the first time, who comes up with this idea that love feels alien? Like where does that stem from?
Yeah, I think, like we said, always the goal is to do something different and that people are a little bit uncomfortable with on the first listen, because I think that's how people develop, and I think that's how change happens, just by trying things that might be a little weird. And Alien was a feeling that we used Alien to describe a feeling that was undescribable. And I think that was the thing that we wanted to make sure that we could create a song that, one, any people, no matter what age you are, no matter what gender, like anyone can relate to this song.
Yes.
And everybody at some point in their life has felt alienated within their own emotions and felt confused and felt lost and felt like they couldn't describe how they were feeling to someone, and they wish they could get inside someone else's mind and know how they were feeling. But it's just this kind of like weird, this weird, almost stressful situation, and there's a lot of emotion inside of it. So I think that's how like we both connected to the song, because we've both gone through this in different ways and scenarios. So we didn't start with the idea of Alien, but once we thought of the lyric, "This feeling so alien," we decided that was the song, because I mean, what better way to describe not knowing how you're feeling than alien?
And what you just said, I mean, I'm very connected to you. It connected with me, but it's very hard to describe the feeling of not knowing, right? And it's hard to. I mean, I also don't write songs. You know what I mean? So
You should.
Yeah.
You are a great conversationalist. You know a lot of words, so I feel like you'd be great at writing songs.
I 7th grade vocab test, I got 100.
Whoa.
It was my only 100 in all of school.
In all of life.
Back in 7th grade.
All of life. My only 100.
But I mean, so the two of you, and as you're going back and forth, like, are you sharing stories that have influenced this feeling of Alien, or are you just, how are you building it? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, there was another writer in the room with us as well, Jin, who's an amazing writer. I write with her quite a bit, and
That was my first time writing.
Yeah, and it was the three of us kind of. Jin's older than me. I'm obviously older than Sabrina, and it was kind of those different stages of life that we've been through, and kind of us telling our situations that we've been in, and how can we put that into something where we, the three of us can relate to it, and the rest of the world can relate to it, and that's where it essentially stemmed from. And in terms of the music, it was just me at the piano. I didn't come in and be like, oh, I've got this hot beat that I made, been working on it all week. That's never how any of my songs work. They always start with me at the piano, and it was purely just that. It was me at the piano, us putting melodies down, and
something that's so magnetic
beautiful
too about all the stuff that he does and all of his songs, you notice, like, and the reason why I first fell in love with him was because the song that I was a huge fan of, which is the one that I tweeted him about, was this like really emotional song that you felt like you could cry to but dance to at the same time, like, and it's just those songs that you're like, how is this juxtaposition working? But it is, and I don't think we tried to do that with Alien, but I think you listen to the song, it can kind of be like, it's a little bit romantic, but at the same time, like, the visuals that we've gotten to create for this song, I think also really help describe the story and what we've gone through as far as imagining what it really is about. So I'm excited for everyone to see those. But
and I think like what you were saying, it happens like you sit down at a piano and you understand people, and then you kind of start literally from scratch.
Yeah.
There are a lot of producers that just sit on like folders of hot beats, and when an artist comes into their studio, they just start playing it, and they just keep, tell me what stands out to you.
Yeah, and that can work, and that takes sometimes a lot of the stress out of it, because sometimes there'll be days where I've got very important sessions with, say, someone like Sabrina, and you've got nothing, and you're sitting there at the piano, and if your fingers don't work that day and come out with the feeling that's in that room, because I essentially, whatever feeling I'm kind of capturing in that room, it's kind of coming from me into my body, out my fingers, onto the piano, and it's like sometimes that doesn't work, and then I've got no backup there because I don't have folders of beats.
But why do you question? And it could be somewhat naive. Why do you need to have a backup? If you have creative block that day, you have creative block that day, and you hope that it goes away a couple hours from now or the next day.
For sure.
is there that much of a pressure and a stress to consistently come up with records and release records that, you need to sit on 50 different beats? Because if you have 2 sessions a day, you got to be able to supply something.
It's not always that way, but
No.
I'm not always in London, first of all. And
That's
he's
it.
not always in LA.
There you
So
go.
Why?
I think, I don't know why. But I think there are times where I know that I've definitely like been, excited about particular sessions, and you do definitely want to get something out of that day, because maybe
Yeah.
there is like a time that, you
get that.
might not have a lot of time with someone in particular. But I think, us work, and this is me speaking for myself, obviously you speak for yourself, but I think there isn't. And I had to like get outside of this fear of creating something incredible every single day, because I realized it's impossible. You have to have those days where, you have writer's block or you have a mind block, because that's how, your mind kind of refreshes itself and restarts, and you come back the next day and you do create something that you wouldn't have created the day before. So it's just, it's everything happens for a reason.
Do you think, I'm like the idea that you have to create every day, like, does that mentality come from TV? Because every day you're creating something on set. Like every second that passes on set is money that goes wasted, and you need
Now that you said that.
no, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, but in that world, there's 25 writers and
Right.
10 different producers. In a studio, it's you and 2 others, and it's
I think actually for me personally, there's more pressure in music than there is on set, because on set it's done, it's written, you
Yeah.
know what you're doing, you've had rehearsal, it's kind of a little bit more padded, whereas like you're
But it
starting with
can
a
be
fresh
for
slate.
music as
It
well.
can
You have
be.
other people writing for you.
Absolutely.
And that's not the case.
But when you're starting with a fresh slate and you are, trying to create something that feels true to who you are, who we are as artists,
And do something new at the same time.
yeah.
and
then it's-
that's a little scary too, right? The idea that you have to be different.
Yeah, I think stemming off from what Sabrina said, it's like, obviously people know me for, a lot of the very successful songs that I've had. And it would be easy for me to just keep repeating that. She loved By Your Side, and I could literally just make that 100 times over. But what's the point of that? The point of us getting together in a room is to fuse our sounds and create something new, and people go, wow, that's weird. Never heard a subject of, or never heard of a feeling like Alien on a dance beat.
on
slash
dance
pop,
beat.
on a
I
dance
love how
beat.
he speaks on a dance beat.
But what motivates that for you, right? Because like you said, you could easily recreate Fast Car and all these hits 1,000 times over. Is it you wanting to have greater impact on culture? Is it you wanting to challenge yourself?
Both, especially as a DJ as well, because I see this from a slightly different perspective. I see it obviously in the pop world, but then, I go to clubs or festivals where I'm DJing to thousands of people, and it's hearing those people sing it back to you. And that's a moment where I'm like, right, how do we create something new and get those thousands of people to sing it back to you again? And essentially what I'm trying to say is create something timeless. You could strip away all that production on Alien,
And the
listen to
lyrics
the
still
song,
matter.
and you're like, wow, that was a good song. And that's what I want. That's what I try to achieve every song.
Why'd you take on Fast Car? Did a lot of people say, don't touch this record?
It wasn't really that. A lot of people didn't know. Are you talking about once it was released?
Yeah, I mean, you're bringing up a timeless record. Like,
Yeah.
that's a timeless record.
Of course, yeah. I mean, the crazy thing is that when Fast Car was released, to a lot of young people,
It was new.
it was new.
Yeah.
And that was partly what I was trying to do as well. It's a great song, and why shouldn't older songs? I had an idea for that song of how to revamp it for a new generation of people. Why not?
Yeah.
People would have never have heard that song otherwise. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing?
I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing,
And-
and people liked it. A lot of people, had, their reservations about it, but that's fine. But then there was a lot of people, you go on YouTube and you read the comments, and people are like, wow, I never heard this song before, and it made me cry and it made me dance all at the same time. And I'm like, that's what I want.
And that's like everything. There's
Yeah.
2 opinions on everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that listen to the song, they're like, this isn't about aliens. And it's like, no. So if you like it, awesome.
No, sorry.
If you don't.
But would we be okay with another artist 30 years from now taking Alien and giving it a revamp?
Of course, because then it would, it'd be, music would, essentially, we do make pop music, and pop music is a culture, and it's a forever moving culture. And
It's never the same.
It's
You always
not-
have to keep up with it, and that's why it's one of the most fun, I think, because you're constantly trying to keep up with how fast it's changing and
Yeah, and
try new
evolve.
things.
and that was essentially, sorry to,
No.
going from from Alien, it doesn't sound like anything that we've both done before. And that's because, we're just evolving and doing new things.
Who decided to call it Alien? Because it's only mentioned like 1.5 times in the song.
Yeah, you're right. 1.5 specifically. Wow, that was very specific.
I know.
So it was the three of us. We went back and forth, and we were like, guys, we all agree like Alien's what stands out.
Yeah.
But you could call it Better Night. You could call it If You Love Me, Let Me Know.
Alien.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, like, what would you rather hear? Would you rather listen to? I mean, like, the thing
from
is,
a branding perspective,
and it wasn't
connected with
even
me.
like, that's the thing is, you can think about other stuff and you can think about how to look on a playlist, but I think for us, we were like, the song doesn't lie in those lyrics, the song lies in Alien. Like, the whole feeling that you're trying to capture is within that
the
one
song
word.
is a feeling. It's based on a feeling, and it's a new feeling at that. And Alien is the feeling that we're trying to get across.
There's also an alien emoji, which helps.
And that
Listen,
really helps.
we
as well.
also are very smart marketers. So at the same time as we weren't thinking about it, we also are very good at what we do. And we were just like, there's an emoji versus no emoji. So
Yeah, and for a while
Love masks,
we were
so-
kind of commenting on each other's posts and things like that, just with the emoji, and everyone's like, why is Jonas
they only
writing an
speak in
alien?
emoji. Yeah.
Love it.
It's really funny.
Look at that. What a tease.
What made you guys want to shoot that vertical music video?
That's a new way.
What
and
made me
Spotify
wanna do
wants
it?
it.
Yeah.
Well, Spotify was they're so incredible, and they were heavily supporting the song. I remember playing it for them a year ago when it was just a really, really rough demo, and they were like, we love this song.
It's been alive for that long.
a year, yeah.
Wow.
And it was just piano.
Which is also the other thing
Really?
that's really
Yeah.
interesting is because sometimes when you do write a song, a while ago, it can
It can age. And
age and it gets outdated and you forget about it.
But not this.
Never forgot about it. And
But that's a test.
And also, after hearing what Jonas did, it brought it to life in a way that it was like, okay, now this is exciting. And so the vertical video came about, Spotify being super supportive of the song, and our initial concept for that was the zero gravity, because where do you feel more alienated than in space with nothing else around you and not being able to control your body and how you move?
And I think, like you said, like being on, we're on aeroplanes a lot, and you said obviously there's a key lyric in there as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite lyrics in the second verse is I'm overthinking my thoughts again. And I was saying to him, I was like, yeah, I was on my way home from Philly. We did our first show together, and I was on my way home from Philly, and it was a really old plane, and there was no TVs, and the chairs didn't recline. I sound like a diva. The chairs did not recline. But listen, I've been on enough planes to know when it's an old plane, and I was literally just sinking there, both, sitting there basking in my own thoughts and like just overthinking everything, because when I'm sitting there with nothing else to do, like that's just what I do. So it was interesting. I think we wanted to capture that in the vertical video as well and get all these very visual elements across.
Like the belly button.
Yeah. I knew you'd point that out. I knew out of everybody you would point that out because I knew.
It's Dan.
1.5 belly buttons.
But what's funny is, and I was also like, somewhere in the world right now, someone is really focusing in on my belly button.
Well, the camera focused in on your belly button.
I loved the detailed shots, because I think, like, again, it's focusing in on those like alienated parts of ourselves that we don't necessarily focus on. So they got all these weird shots of me that, like, people are always like getting the face shot. They're not getting your shoulder. They're not getting like little things. So
I love it.
When you
Yeah.
shoot that, though, does it ever cross your mind like there are some creepy guys out there who have like belly button fetishes?
Yeah, Dan.
yeah,
I'm not
like
into
you.
belly buttons.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm just.
But you did mention it.
You brought it up. Let's not
so-
forget.
I did.
You know what? Because there was a collarbone shot, but you didn't talk about the collarbone.
He's not a
but
collarbone guy.
You see the collarbone. It's not as.
You don't like my collarbone?
You have great collarbones. Don't get me wrong. Great collarbones, but the belly
You're
button.
really digging this hole, aren't you? It's really
You're lucky I don't have an
deeper.
Audi. It was like a whatever. It's fine.
Do
If you
get-
had an
do you
Audi,
get-
would you have shot that scene?
What?
If you had an Audi, would you have still done that?
Maybe. Maybe I would have had someone else's belly button replace
a
mine.
belly button
I
double?
would have had a belly button double.
belly double?
No,
double.
I mean, again, it was really funny because how we got that zero gravity done was I was standing on a trampoline like this big for 2 hours just jumping up and down, and what they did was they slowed it down and they flipped it.
Whoa.
So that's how I was floating. And when you have that shot where I kind of look at the Exorcist, I'm just floating with like in a back bend. It was very painful and it was very hard to get that shot, and I was basically like floating like on a pedestal, and I had to hold myself up, and it was really interesting.
What a workout.
Yeah, what a workout. It was such a cardio video.
Yeah, I would-
but that's not the real video, so.
Ooh, it's just a teaser?
So what is the exercise video coming next?
Yeah, so the cardio workout is actually what comes.
Alien size, baby. You want to be as slim as an alien? Follow me.
See, told you we're good at marketing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be big. I'd sign up. I could use a little bit of toning.
You're perfect just the way you are. I have to tell you this every time I see you.
Thank you so much. You really do. And I bonded with you when we were in Missouri, in Kansas City.
What else do you do in Missouri?
That's it. It's just you and I and Alex Iono. But you were the best ever, and you were super kind. And just watching you on stage, your show's amazing.
Thank
your voice, and even seeing you with your sister, the two of you,
Thanks.
just killing it.
By the way, she's like I've heard to thank a team of people, but she's been also really cool in this whole movement of what we've been trying to do with this song of helping me with the creative aspects, like a lot of the initial ideas from the vertical video and stuff like that. We worked with her and Amber Park on kind of creating it all, but she's been like so incredible to have as far as like helping me as like a creative partner. So I'm glad you pointed her out because she's a little mastermind.
Is it cool to have like family involved like that? Because I mean, family could be dirty, but for the most part, they have your back.
Yeah, well, that's why I choose wisely.
Yeah.
I have a big family. I choose wisely.
Who's in your group?
From my family.
I mean, who's in your group in general? You got friends? You got
Do you have any friends?
No.
Do you travel with anyone or just yourself?
He only knows me. He's only ever met me.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I've got a really close team. My manager, who's also my best friend. My family are really close. Whenever I finish a song, always play it to my younger sister.
Really?
Aw.
Yeah, she's the first
Awesome.
person that hears it.
How old
I
is
love
she?
that.
She's actually not that young. She's 24.
But
That's
I mean,
that's a perfect age, and I think like that's
young.
your. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I think that's like a target demographic
Yes,
that
it is.
everyone looks to please.
And just a female perspective as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
obviously, I do things in a certain way coming from a male perspective, but then as soon as I show it to my sister, she's got an ear for these things, and she'll be like, "Oh, that synth in the drop is a little too harsh or too loud, or that's amazing," And it's.
do you like getting notes from your sister?
I love it. It's brutal. But
Right?
I love
Just
it.
honest.
Yeah.
Getting notes from anybody is kind of brutal because
Right?
you also like want to be like, well, I'm an artist and I have to make these decisions. But at the same time, it's like you said, and your family is only there for like your best interest, I think, most of
Yeah,
the time. And you're really
for
lucky
sure.
if you have that. My sister's the same way. Like I'll play her all my stuff first and she's like, this is better than, like she definitely like will tell me when it feels more like me versus when it feels like something that she's heard before or whatever. So
But you need that honesty. And like,
Definitely.
and your sister gives you a whole new perspective.
Oh, literally, I wouldn't be able to finish off a song without kind of getting her perspective or other people's perspective, because I work kind of as a lone producer. It's just me trapped in a room and doing the song.
that sounds fun.
I'm picturing you right now in a
does,
dark
it really
room,
does.
just
Sounds
one
fun.
the glow of the computer on your
That's
face.
literally me.
That's the video of
So-
Alien. It's just him alone.
Yeah. And the thing is, you listen to a song for hours and hours on loop, and you think things sound amazing, and then you play it to someone, they go, well, actually, this doesn't sound quite right, and you're like, wow, okay, yeah, I get it. So I always, at the end of or during making my songs, I always show them to other people to get a different perspective.
That's cool. Now my sister's gonna watch this and she's gonna call me and she's gonna be like, Zachary, why don't you call me for my opinions on things?
So why isn't it called the Zachary Sang Show then?
Yeah, no, not happening.
Not happening?
Zach Sang flows much better.
It does. I just had the question.
And even with Zach Sang, I'm still fielding a ton of questions. Is
Okay.
it real? Am I Asian? Am I not Asian? Just a lot. Anyway, enough about me. It's not about me.
It's a cool name.
How have
Thanks.
things been since turning 18? Like, have you noticed a difference?
New
well,
you?
in Europe, I can drink Frangelico legally, so that's
I
exciting.
love Frangelico.
Do you? You know what it
So good.
is?
Yeah, it's like a hazelnut.
Yeah, it's a
liqueur.
hazelnut liqueur,
I put it in
and
everything,
I like when
coffee.
people say liqueur more than I do liquor.
Yeah.
So no,
we say liqueur.
nothing's really changed except for the fact that now I have to sign all the contracts, and now
Yeah.
I get the big decisions.
You're an
And
adult.
yeah, it's that thing. But also at the same time, I think I've been an adult since I was 10, so
Yeah.
not a lot has changed. But no, I mean it's fairly the same. I turned 19 fairly soon as well. So
Congrats on the new NBC show.
thank you very much.
It's going to be a big one, you think, right?
I don't want to predict things.
I'll predict.
Okay,
Definitely
great.
I think it's going to be big.
Thank
Definitely
you.
is.
What's the show?
What is it?
It's the producer of Friends and How I Met Your Mother and Will and Grace.
Oh, so we never heard of them.
So
okay, got
great
it.
great
Yeah.
people behind this show.
They've had a couple of good shows.
Has he worked before?
Has
Yeah.
he worked? Does he have experience?
Is he green?
Yeah, so I wasn't anticipating getting into television this quickly, but it kind of was really interesting. It happened very fast, and I'm so excited. The script is incredible, and I can't say a lot about the show, but I'm filming it next month here, and it's a pilot right now, so we all know how that works. But it's the first, obviously, like adult television show that I've ever done, and playing in a cast of incredibly talented, people. I don't know if you've seen the cast yet, but with like SNL alum, like Sashir, like
Really?
Yes.
and so
Shashir
many.
Zamata's in it.
Oh, that's dope.
So like really, really funny people, and I love being surrounded by funny people. It just
cool.
instantly makes everything better. So it'll be really interesting. I'm not sure what it'll be yet, but it'll be fun.
You have a lot going on.
See,
Congratulations.
thank you.
How many people have asked you guys if you believe in aliens?
Only one so far, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
And that's in today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be a question you're gonna get
Oh.
a lot.
I was gonna ask it.
Did you want to ask us?
Do you believe in aliens?
At least we knew it was a basic question.
If you look on YouTube,
Yeah. If you look on YouTube,
there's a lot of proof. So it's really just a matter of if you believe what you watch on YouTube or not.
Kesha
Yeah.
saw a UFO and was inspired by it, and that influenced your
Do
new
you believe
album.
Kesha?
I mean, yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's your answer.
She's believable.
If Kesha says it, it must be true.
Yeah, she said it on our couch.
That's what I
So
live
I'm
by.
not gonna, well, in this room, it's a room of honesty. So
Yeah.
nobody's gonna lie to me in here.
Do you believe in aliens though, like low key, high
yeah,
key?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Do you have a reason?
I think there's a lot of stuff that goes on,
True that, honey.
that
That you
we
can't
can't
explain,
explain.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, he
I
definitely
believe there
does.
has to be something out there. We're not alone
Right.
here.
Dude, the universe is way too big.
It's Elon Musk.
But I just think like space never ends. It just keeps going. There's no wall. There's got to be
Right.
something out there.
Yeah.
I think we're our own worst enemies here
Yeah.
on planet Earth.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, just we're on a
Oh.
constant quest.
All getting through it together.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, what else you got going on? I mean, this is a big deal. What's
Yeah,
next?
I mean, never-ending touring. That's what's going on, which is cool. Summer's about to start for me, so obviously all over Europe, Ibiza, everywhere else. Ibiza, sorry.
So cool. On a yacht
Malaysia?
somewhere, probably.
Yeah, no, and then I've got a new single coming out in May, which I'm super excited about, which will be obviously my own single. And
Just
then
you? Anybody on it?
Possibly.
Cool.
And then album towards the end of the year. So
Cool.
Wow, how exciting. The two of you. Kicking butt, dynamic duo.
yeah.
I appreciate the two of you deeply.
Thanks. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Thanks for coming by.
Love your turtleneck.
Thank you,
Oh
Sabrina.
my God. You're trying
Sabrina
I
to
love the
Carpenter.
effort that you went into with these masks.
I mean, again, it was the label, so you got to thank him.
It was the label.
But yeah, I mean, we usually bank on pure quality conversation, not gimmick.
What's
but
that?
yeah,
Well,
We have alien masks.
We do whatever DJ says. Okay.
at the end of the day, that's really it.
By the way, every interview we've ever done, we've referenced DJ, and no one outside of the video knows who DJ is.
They don't
So
want to
DJ's
know.
an icon at this point. They're just like, we just want to know DJ.
This man behind the alien mask.
He's like Wilson from Home Improvement. You never see his face.
Yeah.
But you heard him laugh.
DJ like that joke.
By the way, DJ has wrapped me up 17 times in the last 15 minutes. But dirty looks.
Wrap it up.
Sabrina Carpenter, Jonas Blue. Appreciate the two of you. Thank you for hanging out. It means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Alien is the single. Go. Put it in your ears. I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere. So click them. Thanks for watching.